Hi, I'm Dave Celentano from Starlicks, and today we're going to talk about tricks on the guitar. Some of the things I'm going to cover are whammy bar use, vibrato, harmonics, and two-handed technique. Now at the beginning of the video was a little quick demonstration of what you can do with some two-handed technique. It was a little classical piece using all 8 fingers. Now today what we're going to do to start out, we're going to get tuned up. So here's my high E. Okay, here's your B string. And your G string. D string. Your A. And your E. Okay, now for those of you guys who have a tuner, you'll notice that I'm tuned down a half step. Basically, most rock guitar players tune down a little bit lower than normal pitch because it loosens the string tension up a little bit and makes a lot of vibrato and other tricks a lot easier to play. Okay, here's lick number 1. Okay, now what I just played was a two-handed lick. What each segment of the lick was basically an arpeggio. Now an arpeggio is a chord with the notes of it played separately. It's a real popular technique nowadays in rock. You can hear it all over the place. What I was doing with the pick at the time was I was cupping it in my second finger like this. Now another technique a lot of guitar players use is to just hold it between your thumb and forefinger and use your second finger to do the hammer-on like this. So you can either work with both ways and see which one fits your style the best. Now here's the same example played real slow. Okay, there you have it, lick number 1, slow. Now the arpeggios in that lick, if you're wondering, were D minor to A, to G diminished, to C, to E minor, to B sus, or B suspended 4, to B, and ending on E minor. Now that's a real classical sounding arpeggio melody. Lick number 2 is going to cover more of a rock approach to that. So here we go. Okay, there you have lick number 2. Now that one's not an arpeggio style lick, it's more or less just a rock lick in the key of A minor. Now what I want to do now is show you what you can do with that same lick using all 4 of your fingers on your right hand. It'll sound like this. See, it's basically the same thing, but when you're watching my right hand, I can actually get it going a little bit quicker, and it's a lot smoother sounding, and there's less hand movement going up and down on the neck. Some tips with playing with all 4 of your fingers in your right hand would be to rest the side of your thumb, or your thumb on the side of the neck, like this. Now here's lick number 2, slow. Now here's lick number 2, slow again, but using all 4 fingers of your right hand. Okay, now that you've seen 2 different types of hammer-ons, hammering on with arpeggios and hammering on using all 4 fingers, I'm going to combine the 2 and show you what you can do with it. Now this lick's not in your packet, but here it is. did there, basically, I was playing arpeggios, but I was doing one chord shape with my right hand and holding down a different inversion of the same chord with my left hand. So basically on the first chord, we were holding down an E chord. With my left hand, I was playing the root and the third of the chord, and then with my right hand, I was hammering the fifth, pulling off to the root, hammering the third, pulling off to the root again, and then hammering the fifth, pulling off to the third, and repeating that cycle over and over again for the first chord. Now you can do that with any chord progression, it'll sound pretty hot. Now what we're going to do is move on to lick number 3. Okay, there you have it, lick number 3. That's a conventional lick using a fast run going into some two-handed tricks with the right hand. Basically what you want to do there is develop going from playing with a pick into the two-handed technique without hearing any flaws or any gap in between the space. Now here it is again, lick number 3, real slow. Okay, lick number 4 is a bluesy sounding lick with a little bit of bending and finger taps at the end of it. And here it is. Okay, again, that's a bluesy sounding lick with some finger tapping at the end. What you want to do is develop going from the lick into the two-handed technique again, like we talked about in the previous lick. Now here's lick number 4, slow. Okay, here's lick number 5. Okay, again, I'm resting the side of my thumb on the side of the neck and using all 4 fingers on a fretboard like that. Now here's lick number 5, slow, with 1 finger. And slow again using all 4 fingers. Now what I want to show you is that same lick again without distortion. I think it would sound a lot better like that. It gives a real chimey sound. Okay, there you have it with a clean sound. Now, by the way, I'm holding down an F chord with the left hand. By holding a chord like that with the left hand, you can tap other notes with the right hand and get a real chime-like sound. Here's another example of what you can do with it with a clean setting. Okay, lick number 6. Okay, there's lick number 6 real fast. What's happening right there is the picking part. I'm outlining a C dominant 7th chord. That's another way of playing an arpeggio, the way I did it right there. And also what I'm doing with the right hand is I'm tapping out a pedal tone with my right hand and descending in a C Mixolydian mode with my left hand. Now here's lick number 6, slow. Okay, now for lick number 7, I'm going to have to change guitars. Get my old Flying V here. Okay, there's lick number 7 fast. Basically what I'm doing with the first part of the lick is I'm playing an A major triad to a D major triad to a G major triad using sweep picking with my right hand. Now sweep picking is a new technique a lot of guitar players use, which it's basically an economy type of picking. It enables you to play a little bit faster and get more out of one stroke of the pick than in standard traditional alternate picking. So real slow on just those sweeps, the pick would be on an upstroke on the first note and then 3 downstrokes for each triad. Now if you want to get a little bit elaborate on that, you can take a full arpeggio and sweep pick that like this. Say we'll take an A major arpeggio. Now lick number 7 slow would sound like this. Okay, and at the end of the lick we use a little toggle switch trick. And in order to do that you have to have 2 pickups on your guitar with 2 separate volumes, one for each pickup. Now how to do that, you're going to turn the volume down on your front pickup and keep the volume on 10 on your rear pickup, and then flick your toggle switch back and forth while you're holding a note with your left hand, like this. Okay, now for lick number 8, I'm going to need to switch back to my other guitar. There's lick number 8 fast. Now that one again we're using a fast run going into another trick. Now the trick here is natural harmonics. Now you can get natural harmonics in the 12th fret, 7th fret, and 5th fret in the guitar by lightly tapping over the fret on the string with any of your fingers, like this. And immediately pulling your finger off the string so the sound of the string will resonate. Now lick number 8 real slow would sound like this. Okay, and at the end of lick 8 we use the whammy bar, striking it kind of rigidly like this to get that real radical type sound. Okay, now lick number 9. Okay, right there we're using the use of artificial harmonics. Now with artificial harmonics, it's a little bit different than the natural ones where you have to produce the sound with by the way you pick. Now what you're going to want to do is choke up on your pick real tight so there's just a very little bit sticking out. And what's going to happen is after you pick the string, the side of your thumb is going to actually touch the string immediately afterwards, causing it to get the harmonic like this. Okay, here's lick 9, slow. And lick number 10. Okay, now lick number 10 used a lot of natural harmonics. We outline right there an E minor pentatonic scale. Now you can't outline every scale on the guitar neck with the harmonics. It only happens that you can outline a few, and one of them is E natural minor, or E minor pentatonic. Okay, now here's lick number 10 slowly. Okay, now here's lick number 11. Okay, notice the use of artificial harmonics in that lick. Now here it is slow. Okay, lick number 12. Okay, on that we're using artificial harmonics again and starting to incorporate the bend with the artificial harmonics. And then once, for that lick, after you do the bend, you hit your vibrato bar real rigidly to get those real radical bends like that. Now now that we're talking about vibrato, the vibrato bar, I would suggest that in order to get some of these next couple licks, you have a floating vibrato, which means that it's going to be pivoting on the two screws on either side, or it's going to be pivoting on a razor-type edge. And also your bar should be pretty tight as to stay up near where you're picking so you can quickly grasp at it. Okay, now here's lick number 12 slowly. Okay, lick number 13. Okay, on that one we're using a pick slide at the end of the lick to get that real radical, raunchy sound. Now to get that, you're going to take the side of your pick and just scrape it along the top strings to get that sound. Also, what we're doing with the fretting hand is pulling off on arpeggios again, somewhat like we were doing at the first lick, except this one we're not using the two-hand technique. We're just using double pull-offs. Okay, now here's lick number 13 slow. Lick number 14. And here it is slow. Okay, now what we're doing on that lick is using a lot of dive bomb techniques with the vibrato bar. What you want to do on that is bend the note up a whole step, then while you're releasing the bend, push down the vibrato bar simultaneously so you get from a high note to a low note real radically. Something like that. Some other tricks you can get with that same dive bomb idea would be something like this. Right before you pick the note, what you want to do is push the vibrato bar down. Then as you're releasing a bar, you want to bend up the string a whole step so it sounds like this. So you get a real low note to high note effect with the bar. Then what you do is release that to the B note in the 12th fret and descend with the vibrato bar on that, and then do the same thing on the 3rd string, but releasing to the open G string. So you got. Okay, and here's one more lick using two-handed technique, vibrato bar, and bends at the same time. Here we go. Okay, now lick number 15. Okay, on that lick, we're using a blues riff to open it up with, and then going into the dive bomb technique with that. what you want to do is have your vibrato bar set pretty tight so it stays right near your picking hand so you can quickly grasp at it without having much delay in between the last note of the lick you're doing and the harmonic right afterwards. Okay, here it is real slow. Okay, notice the string, the low E, hitting on the fretboard when the string tension is all the way released. That's another type of effect you might want to go for. It sounds pretty neat. Real low. Something like that, when you've got your bar pressed down all the way. Okay, here's lick number 16. Okay, on that trick right there, we're doing what you call a vibrato flutter. Basically what's happening is when you have your system set up so it's a floating vibrato, all you have to do is hit the vibrato bar by itself and it shakes and it causes that cricket type sound like that. Another way to achieve that sound is to bang on your guitar in the same this manner right here. You get the same sound. Okay, here it is real slow. Okay, and lick 17. Okay, there you have a bluesy sounding lick on that phrase, ending it with string yank. And you produce a string yank by doing a trill with your left hand or your fretting hand, reaching behind it with your right hand on the same string and pulling it up towards the ceiling, like this. Now you can produce the same sound by using your vibrato bar to pull the note sharp, like this. Okay, now here it is slowly. And lick 18. Okay, on that one we're doing vibrato bar scoops. Basically what's happening is I'm bending into the note and pulling right back out of it, like this. It's a nice sounding little effect. Now here it is slowly. And lick 19. Okay, that's a speedy little sound lick right there with a little bit of vibrato bending at the end of that. What's happening there is I'm doing a trill, bending down on the vibrato bar, ending the trill on the one note and releasing the bar to come back up to that one note. Now here it is slowly. And lick 20. Okay, there you have another two-handed lick idea right there. This one's using a lot wider intervals than the previous licks. It's also a sequential sounding lick. What I mean by that is it's the same sequence of notes on each string, just repeated again on the next string. So what it's going to sound like real slow would be this. concludes this tape. Hope you've enjoyed it. Just remember, you can take any parts of the licks I showed you or the whole lick itself and incorporate that into your playing. And remember, you want to keep practicing, keep playing, and it's going to happen for you. Thanks a lot.